Welcome back to Operation Pixel. We're here in... what's it? Bay Malay. Okay, so I'm back down on floor 2 now, but from a different staircase. Because this tower is apparently quite massive. Let's see, I can see that it goes at least 2 spaces forward, so I'll just mark that down. I'm gonna turn this way. So we're close to the edge of the tower, and I'd like to fill up the... I like to, handle maps like I do. If you ever made, like, a puzzle, right? They tell you that the key to doing that well... 1, 2, 3... or at least efficiently... is to fill out the edges first. Because it's easy to tell which pieces are corner pieces, and then you get enough of the picture going that you can start putting other pieces together. 1, 2, 3... in other news, I believe I said in the last episode I would talk a little bit about MMO history here. Not that anyone cares, I'm sure, but... well, you know, I think some people probably care, because some people really like those games. Obviously, I said in the last one that I really liked City of Heroes. And, you know, by proxy, City of Villains. That's the miracle key! Now I don't need the open spell anymore. I assume. It's my guess. Let's see, I'm just gonna draw a box there with a little star next to it. Because that's where I got the miracle key. See, I think... man, MMOs haven't been around all that long in the grand scheme of things. But I know for me it started off with Dot Hack. Because my brother was watching Dot Hack Sign on when it was on Adult Swim late at night. And, you know, I wasn't really sure about it. I don't think I was particularly interested. But because of the show, he ended up picking up the games. Or at least the first one, Dot Hack Infection. And, I actually really liked it. There was something really cool about this kind of element of, like, being able to hang out with your friends and go on these adventures in an online world. I was like, oh man, that seems cool. So, you know, I wanted to do that. And there wasn't really a lot of options at the time, like RuneScape was around, but I'd tried RuneScape a couple times, and it just never really connected with me in the way that it had. A couple of my other friends had played it. But I was like, I don't know. I think I'd played Diablo 2 around that time. It's not an MMO, but they have a function called bal.net where you can go online and sort of like join games with other people. So I'd played through some games of Diablo 2 online with my friends, such as the one you can see here on Operation Pixel, where TJ and I just blew the crap out of Diablo 2. But yeah, I'm trying to remember... I think EverQuest was around at the time, too. Hold on, let me just make sure I'm facing the direction I think I'm facing. Oh, I was not facing the direction I thought I was facing. Okay, glad I checked. But that's also easy, because that means I can just fill in a little last segment of the map there. And then that'll just lead me back towards the staircase, so I don't need to go that way. But this way is brand new content. And I remember picking up EverQuest because I heard it was an MMO. And then, like, I found out you had to do some special stuff to, like, get it running on the PS2. And my mom was like, you were not getting that running on the PS2. So, you know, we didn't get it running on the PS2. So I never played EverQuest, and you couldn't return it because, you know, I think it had a CD key probably or something like that. Just so there was, like, a no return policy on those games. So people couldn't make copies. But, I did eventually find, and I don't remember how I found this, maybe my brother found it and then told me about it, I forget. Dang it. But there was a website, that's, I think it's still up, called Beyond.com, B-Y-O-N-D. And it was interesting because it essentially was like a game making program. If you ever use something like Game Maker, RPG Maker, it was kind of like that. I think the system was a little clunkier. It didn't have the kind of the UI and the what do you want to call it, quality of life stuff that a lot of these sort of game making programs come with these days. But you could make essentially online games. Oops. Well, it didn't blow up, so that's okay. So you could make and host these online games. And so I played a few on there. A lot of them were like Final Fantasy clones where someone had basically... Like, these were SNES level graphics. So there was nothing really impressive to see. You know, everything was just sort of like, oh, okay, it's pixel art and stuff. It's fine. The gameplay's there. But as such, a lot of games that were on there were recreations of other games that already existed. So, there was like a couple Pokemon ones. There was, shoot, what was the other one? Dragon Quest. There was a couple like Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior Monsters. There was Final Fantasy games where people had just essentially recreated the world of like Final Fantasy IV. And then they, and then within the world of Final Fantasy IV, you know, you could team up with other people and adventure around and fight the bosses that were in the game. So, you know, some of that stuff was pretty cool. But I think it was around that time then, yeah, that I had a decent enough PC that I got my hands on Final Fantasy XI. And fortunately, my mom was willing to put up the $15 a month that's pretty standard for MMOs. It's a monthly fee. So I got on Final Fantasy XI, and I had fun with that one for a little while, but I think it's partly because I didn't know what I was doing. Wow, I went down another floor? I have to go back to my other page. Ah, crap, where am I? Alright, so if I'm on floor 1... On floor 1... let me see if I can line these maps up just so I don't have to do as much work. I'm gonna be in this column. Probably somewhere around here. Where am I in relation to staircase E? Let's see, one space up from staircase E. So I'm guessing here? That seems right. Alright, I think that checks out. It's a little bit weird, but I guess we'll find out soon. And if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to do some counting, which I don't want to have to do. So I can do one more thing. Let me just double check with this one little trick. So that's gonna be 3 spaces from the bottom, so it's in the 4th space. 3 space. Yep. Okay. So that also checks out. Okay. So I think I have it in the right spot. But I'm now back on floor 1, facing south. I guess I better label that one. What comes after G? H. Staircase H. Okay. So yeah, Final Fantasy XI. I did that for some time. Like, it seemed okay at first, but maybe it's just because I didn't have a lot of perspective, because there wasn't a lot of MMOs at that point, and I hadn't played a lot of them, the ones that were around. And I thought it was cool that they sort of carried over the Final Fantasy class system, and you could even multi-class. I think you had to get to like level 15 or something to unlock that feature. I don't remember, but I remember I did Monk for a while, and Red Mage for a little while, and Fighter, I think, or Warrior, I did for quite some time. So that was cool. But I never really got super into it, especially because there was a mechanic in that game where when you died, you lost experience points. And, I mean, obviously, that's first of all very bad, because that sucks. It's good motivation not to die, but it really sucks. And then... Nope. They even had it so that if you lost experience points when you were, like like, you didn't, like, cap out at, like, 0 for your level. You actually went down to a lower level. So you could lose levels just by dying. And it's really disappointing when you, like, do all this level grinding and stuff like that and save up all your money so you can buy a new weapon. And then you, like, get up to that level and you equip your new weapon. And then you go out to fight some things. You're like, oh, okay, I need to go fight harder enemies because I'm not getting any experience for this. And then you get killed by the stronger enemies. Oops, didn't mean to open that, but okay. And the enemies kill you, and you lose your experience, and then can't equip your weapon. 3... Dead end. Let's trap check it. No trap. Iron sword. There's a lot of crappy treasure in here. But yeah, so that was my Final Fantasy XI experience. Like I said in the last episode, it was around that time that World of Warcraft had been announced, and I'd already been playing Warcraft 3. So I already mentioned sort of more or less how I feel about World of Warcraft. You know, again, I'm sure it's improved since I played it. And you know, maybe it's like if you'd played it, if I'd had friends on, and if I'd played it, like, you know, joined a guild and all that stuff, maybe I probably would have had more fun. Oh man, we're going down another floor? Jeez. Alright, I want to finish exploring this way first. Just gotta deal with this centaur, I guess. But yeah, so that was sort of my World of Warcraft experience. Was just that, like, it was kind of dull being a grunt when there was heroes running around. There's a lot of cool aspects of it though, and that's why these days, like, every game, every MMO is considered basically, at least to some degree, a WoW clone. I don't think City of Heroes really fell into that rut very much, just because I think it came out around the same time, so it would have been hard to rip off. Hold on, what's that? Yeah. Okay. It'd be hard to rip off a game that came out around the same time. Okay, so... Titan. What do I want to do about a Titan? I want to run. I don't want to fight this guy. There we go. Okay. So I'm trying to think of where I went after City of Heroes. Because I know we did a few things. I know we played Guild Wars 2 at one point, me and some of my friends. Let's see, we went down another floor. Hold on, I gotta figure out where we went. And this is Staircase I now. God, this place is... This is now by far the largest dungeon I've been in this game. So now we're on floor 0. That's what I called it, because I didn't realize it was going to keep going into... What's it? Yeah, there's a total of 3 basement levels here. Okay, so... let's see, if we were there... To freaking figure out where the map starts and ends. It's bullcrap. Didn't sign up for this. Okay, so no, that goes there. Hold on. Something doesn't check out here. Oh yeah, I know what it is. I think. Question is... Yeah, okay. So... you may recall that a few episodes ago I had that problem where I found out that the upper floors were bigger than the lower floors, and then I realized that I don't think that's the case. I think there's just multiple parts of these floors. And it was just convenient that everything sort of fit into the same box. So some of my estimations are off. But let's see. So, from the bottom corner, we go up 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth space. So 1, 2, 3, fourth space. Stairway up, called I. But right now I should be facing north. Let me just double check to make sure that I don't start doing something wrong here. It's gonna take me more time to fix than I want. Okay. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 was interesting. Again, I didn't play it all that long, because we kind of, like, just plowed through it. And then again, just endgame, just didn't really feel the grind. Just didn't really want to spend all our time doing dailies and stuff like that, and grinding for money so we could get some slightly fancier equipment. Oh. That's a staircase down. That sure was quick. Let me move the I, because that's actually right next to the I. Also, I'm going to move this other letter here, because it's also really close to another ladder. Jeez, or staircase. Sorry, not ladders. Alright, then how about down this way? Just gotta kill these stalkers. So I'm just thinking, though, because, like, my biggest thing with Guild Wars 2 is that, like, I think it... I don't know, it's gonna sound like I'm complaining. It's more of like a critique, a commentary, just personal opinions on the matter. I feel like, first of all, it was kind of weird that they did added races, because that wasn't a part of the first Guild Wars. And when they added races, it was like, okay, I could see the Char being in, because the Char were already, like, established in the first Guild Wars. Which I also played, by the way. I totally forgot to mention that one. I don't know when that was. It was probably... Oh, man. Well, I played it when it came out, so... I don't know if that was before or after City of Heroes. It was probably... I want to say after City of Heroes. There was always lulls in City of Heroes. It's not like we played it for 8 years constantly. Just kind of came and went. But, you know, had fun with the first Guild Wars while it lasted. But yeah, like I said, the second one, it seemed weird to me that they added races. Especially because the races were very, kind of like... It felt kind of like artificial to me, in my opinion. Because it was like, the Sylvari were basically elves that aren't elves. And the Norn were almost like, they're dwarves except they're tall Vikings instead of short Vikings. And so it just seemed a little odd to me. I don't know if that bothered other people, but I just thought it was kind of weird that they added these races, and they're like, it's almost fantasy. Oh, and the Asura were basically gnomes that weren't gnomes. Like, everything was like a cliche, just with a different texture. They just painted it differently so they could sell it as something unique. Yes. Do I have a flash? I probably have a flash. Yep. There we go. Escaper's more valuable than a flash. I'm gonna drop my other flash too, just so I don't have to deal with that next time I open a chest. Do I have anything else I can toss? I mean, some of this stuff, like the short sword there, is pretty worthless. I'm gonna hang on to it for now. I don't know how much more of this place there's gonna be. There's actually still a lot I haven't explored here. And it doesn't help that I keep going up and down floors and finding new things. I'm gonna run. I want to avoid marauder fights if at all possible. I can probably fight dragons. As far as I know, they don't have an AoE attack that hits all my dudes. But yeah, so that was my first primary problem with Guild Wars. The second problem was that, like, in a way, I almost thought it was over-designed. And I almost mean that as a compliment to the designers. Because every environment was so unique and interesting, that it really almost felt to me, in my opinion, like, it made things less interesting. 'Cause you know what I mean? Like, the example I tried to explain this to people as was that, like, if you were looking out at a desert, right? There's, like, nothing there, just sand dunes and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, you know, maybe it's pretty. Okay, we'll say it's a pretty desert. It's nice to look at. And then we'll say that you put in that desert, you just put this one large crystal spire, right? And you're like, oh, cool, that's a big old crystal spire. Like, it draws your eye, it centers focus, you have this attention. It's, like, super cool. And I gotta decide which staircase to go down. I guess I'll go down this one. Let's see what comes after I. G-H-I, J. We're on staircase J now. Okay. But that means I also have to figure out where this is. I can use C as a point of reference. We go up 2 spaces from C. And then we go left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should be correct. Okay, so as I was saying, if you have this desert with, like, this cool crystal tower, it's like, okay, cool. It's a really cool crystal tower. But then if, like, that same desert, it's like you add 50 more crystal towers. It's like, the crystal tower isn't interesting anymore. And in a way, that's sort of, I feel like, what's, it felt to me, like, what Guild Wars 2 did. Is, like, every place was, like, this over-the-top, just fantastical, super designed, you know, like, everything had flavor and, presence and stuff like that, character, and it's like, since everything had so much character, it all just almost sort of blended together into, like, this fantastical mess of stuff. And so, like, yes, everything was interesting, and well-designed, well thought out and planned and put together, but, like, it still felt to me just kind of like too much. Like, they should have made a little more use of negative space. Or maybe it's just the fact that I'm not, like, a super huge fan of fantasy. I like fantasy stuff, but, like, once you get to high fantasy and you have, like, floating islands, like, I don't think Guild Wars had floating islands, but, like, some of the castles in that game were oh god, there's another floor down? Okay, wait, maybe I already knew that. Yeah, okay, because that's why I drew a floor -2. So I do know that there's another floor down from here. Okay, well, what comes after J? G-H-I, J, K. This is staircase K now. Should be easy to find on the map. From floor 3, I am 2 spaces south of the top right corner. So 1, 2. I'm probably gonna go down this staircase and immediately see a corner going left. Haha. So that's J. But yeah, so I mean, I don't want to be hard on them because, like I said, like, it was clear that they had a lot of artistic talent, but, like, I don't know, I just feel like from a design perspective, it might have been better if they'd you know, really sort of, like, maybe not made things so ridiculous and, like, so consistently ridiculous. If you had, like, 1 or 2 places that are ridiculous, they really stand out. Those are memorable, ridiculous places. But, like, if every place is ridiculous, then it's just, like, I guess everything's just ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably not a popular opinion. Because I know the game was really solid. Like, in terms of gameplay, it was, like, really well balanced. Because PvP was a main function of it. I was never really into PvP, which is probably another reason why these games never have a lot of longevity for me. But yeah, that's that. I guess I should probably go on to the next episode. I thought I was going to be able to get through all this MMO stuff in one episode. But since I also had to go through all this mapping stuff, and I spent a while talking about how I felt about design decisions concerning games, it took a bit longer. I should probably also heal between episodes. It'd be a good thing to do, just to make sure everybody's good and healthy. I'm gonna open this chest. It's gonna be a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Okay, it didn't blow up. I'm cool. Alright, we'll come back next time. And maybe I'll talk a little bit more about MMOs, just because I think there's at least one or two more that I've played since then. And, you know, may as well just get it all out while we're here, right?